Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're looking at this Tesla canvas poster we just got. I got this from some Chinese seller. I think I got it on eBay. It was like, I want to say around $60 for the canvas printing. And how it works, it's kind of like staggered. So there's like smaller ones on the edge, the biggest panels in the middle, and then it kind of tapers back down. And what we're doing here is we have to build our own frame. So it's cheapest to buy this with your own, with just the canvas, and then you build your own frame. That's what we're going to do. So we have some wood left over from some old bed frames, like the bed slats. We're going to use that. You really can use any kind of wood you want. We're going to show you what we're going to do, but we're going to just walk you through the process of how we're going to put together this canvas poster, and this is going to go in a bedroom. It's kind of on the wall. So let's get started. All right, so this is the wood I'm using. Like I said, it's just kind of some wood that we had actually from a bed frame, like the slats from a bed frame. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. This is about 2.5 inches wide by 1/2 inch thick. So it's probably a 3x1 type of a board, but really anything. It's pretty lightweight, and as long as it's straight, it'll do the job. So what we're going to do with these panels, we're actually going to wrap around the wood so that there's no white showing. And then the panels will be slightly spaced apart, so you'll kind of see, it'll kind of give it like a three-dimensional look to it, because the image will kind of fold over on the side of the board. So what we're going to do, we're going to do the two outside ones are the same, the two next ones are the same, and then the middle one's the biggest one. We'll do that one last. So what we're going to do is we're just going to measure how big the frame we need it. Now the frame, we have to leave about this 1/2 inch. We just have to leave this just more than 1/2 inch wide around the edge, so that way it can wrap around, and then you don't see this white border when it's hung up. All right, so the width, I'm actually going to do the wood. The wood's going to be the length. The length here is going to go the full length, and then the supports are just going to go up from here. So I'm measuring about 1/2 inch into the canvas. So they should all be the same width, so that'll make it easy. So we're looking at, let's see, 14. I'm going to go 14 3/4. So 14 3/4 wide, and then they'll just be the heights will be different on a lot of them. So about that much of an overhang, so that way I can, when I come over the top, the white will be hidden behind it. Okay, so we're doing 14 3/4 wide. That'll be the width of this side here, and then what I did is I figured how I got this board right where I needed it, so where it folds over nicely, about like there. And then I figured out the distance here. So if I figure out that's about 3 inches from there, so I just measure 3 inches from this side, mark that, and then I have the length of about 18 inches. So we're going to do so it's going to be 18-inch tall pieces here, 14 3/4 there, and then so we'll do the same. We'll make 2 of those right now, and then we'll have to get a different length or a different height of them for the next 2, and then for the final one. So we're going to cut some wood, put it together, and we'll see how it fits. We have our saw. We got it all set up. We're just getting our measurements transferred to the wood, and we'll start cutting, and then we can piece the pieces together for those 2 outer ones. We'll cut those first and kind of build them incrementally. Make sure that these are perfectly the same length, because these are going to be the width of it, and then our 2 cross members are going to be in between, and those are going to be 18 inches. So let's get 18 inches in here. You got to make sure you compensate for the cut line, because the blade on the saw is a couple millimeters thick, so I don't want to measure the next board until I have it cut, so that way I can account for that. All right, now that we have our two frames cut, we're going to assemble them. So our 18 inches are going to be this long. 14 3/4 are going to be this. And I'm doing this on a concrete floor that's flat and level. That way I can get them to sit flat and level. But we're using a stapler. This is a Ryobi stapler. But I'm using these 3/8-inch staples. You could use a handheld stapler too, or a nailer. I mean, the nailer. The problem is you wouldn't be able to nail all the way through this. You need to nail that long, and so staple I think is the best. And I'm using this Gorilla wood glue. So here's what we're doing. A bit on each of the ends here. All right. And then a little bit on each end here. When this dries, it would hold it. The staples are just holding it until it dries. So what I'm going to do with my stapler here is I'm just going to hold this, make sure that the corner is perfectly level. I'm just going to put 2 staples in right there, and then come over here. Make sure the edges line up perfectly. Hold it together. 1, 2 staples there, and then we do the same thing on this side. Well, this side, because we need to give this side some support. So 2 on each here. I'm just pushing it down so it's not bowed out, it's laying flat. Then the canvas will be able to go right over that and it won't be any issue at all. Okay, 1 down, 5 more to go. Okay, we got our frame built. We're ready to put our canvas on, and it really doesn't matter which side's up. So we're going to put the canvas face down here, like that. These were rolled up, so they're not staying down as well. So if we put our flat, now we didn't let the glue dry. We just built these, and I don't think it's necessary to let the glue dry. We have the staples holding it together. Once the canvas gets stapled to it, it'll hold the frame together. So now what I'm doing, we're just kind of getting it like centered on here, right to where the canvas picture shows up on this side. So right there. Well, that's perfect. So look at this here. Get close. So see how if I pull it over, the picture right there is right on the edge. So that's going to be perfect there. And then on this side, if I hold the same spot, it's going to be the same. So we won't be able to see the white. So we're good on the length there. Now we just got to make sure that we're might need to go over a little bit. See how I can still see some. So here's the edge of the wood. Less than a millimeter there. Okay, we're good there. Just want to get it centered here. So this is good. That's good there. That's good right there. Okay. So now what I'll do is go through around and staple it. When we get to the corners, I'll show you how we do the corners. We're just going to do a fold so that it'll be a nice, neat corner. Looks pretty good. Just getting those corners wrapped is going to be probably the biggest challenge. And I want to show you how I'm doing this. So see how I've stapled up to the corners. So the corner is still kind of loose, but there's some excess material there. So what I found that's probably the easiest way to do this is I'm pulling this back a little bit, and I'm tucking one of the edges in. It could be from either side, but from this top side, I'm just tucking the corner in like this. What we're going to do is we're just going to create a fold. So see how I just folded this piece over, and that's gonna be our corner right there. So what I'll do is some of this material I can just cut because it's excess material, and if it's too much is sticking out, it won't sit as flush against the wall when it's hung up. So that's kind of how our corner is gonna look. So that'll look pretty good. So what I'll do is I'm gonna pull that corner tight. Put a few staples in there, and then I'll just get scissors and cut off the excess. All right, now I'm just gonna work on all the others. All right, first one's done. Went together pretty good. This corner kind of tucked around there. Yeah, that one doesn't look that hot. This side that's gonna be exposed to the wall looks the best. That's all that matters. All right, so one down, 5 more to go, and then we'll get it hung up on the wall. All right, here's the finished product. It turned out pretty good. This one's got a little wrinkle in it, but maybe over time that'll work its way out. Let's go get it put up on the wall.